Well, welcome back to Tools and Trails. Today, we're going to go to Smiley Rock up by Jerome, Arizona. So, I've been reading about this trail for a while and really looked like a really fun trail. But it looked really tight, a little bit more difficult than some of the trails we go on with our larger groups. And so, as it turned out, we were planning a trip for June of this year. And just happened to be a weekend where a lot of our members had other plans and couldn't go with us, and so I thought, this is perfect. So it turned out to be just 3 Jeeps going up there, and just was a great day. It was really hot down here in the valley, down in Phoenix, and so wheeling up in the pines was a lot of fun. We're getting up around 7,000 feet, just over 7,000 feet, so it was a lot cooler. Had some shade in the canyon, but it was a tough trail, especially through the Martin Canyon section. So great trail. I'll leave some directions at the end of the video, so make sure you watch through to the end, but highly recommended. So thanks for joining us. Welcome along for the ride. We started the day in the parking lot just outside of the United Verde copper mine, which is really the mine that started the town of Jerome and operated from 1882 all the way out to 1952. So in those 70 years, it produced over $1 billion in copper, gold, silver, zinc, and lead. And known as the Big Hole by the miners who worked in it at the turn of the century, it was one of the largest copper mines in the world. From this point, just enjoyed the views of the ruins of the old town of Jerome. But just right down the road, found a little curve in the road where we could stop and air down. Starting to get full of washboards, but even from here, kind of neat to look out over the rest of the town. Still see some of the ruins, tailing ponds, buildings. Everything was left over from the old mining days. First leg of our journey took us out of Jerome on the Jerome-Perkinsville Road. This road's a fairly well-graded, well-traveled road, so we were able to cruise along pretty good, but the steep cliffs on one side had us on our toes a little bit. Had to pay attention still, but still able to really enjoy the views looking down into the valley of Sedona. And so we took our time on this one too. After traveling down the Jerome-Perkinsville Road for a ways, we turned off on Forest Route 318A. Now this road's got a little bit of history. First of all, it's part of the Great Western Trail, which some of you may have heard about. And second of all, it's the roadbed for the United Verde and Pacific Railroad, which was once described as the crookedest line in the world because it had 126 curves along its 26.3 mile length. The 3-foot wide railroad was constructed in 1894 by Senator William Andrews Clark, the owner of the United Verde copper mine in Jerome. The railroad connected Jerome to Chino Valley, which was then called Jerome Junction, and the Santa Fe, Prescott, and Phoenix Railway. Jerome Junction was originally called simply Junction when it was established in 1895, but the name was changed to the less confusing Jerome Junction in 1914. The station was used by both railroads. The line was not without its problems. Heavy rain often caused the washouts, which in 1905 and 1906 were severe enough to stop the trains. No trains into Jerome meant no coke for the smelters, and no production, so that curtailed the mining operations. Rock falls along the line often had to be cleared as well. Wooden trestles were built to cross the gullies and to create the acceptable grade, but frequent fires started by engine sparks often delayed the train. 23 trestles were replaced between 1898 and 1901 by the built-up grade that you see today. The project cost $250,000. The trail bears evidence of the sidings and turnaround points for the railroad. Near the eastern end of the trail, an open area beside the road is Horseshoe Siding, which is believed to be the site of a sawmill that milled timber from Wood Chute Mountain. Timber was used to fire the smelters before coke was brought in. The United Verde and Pacific Railroad closed in 1920, and Jerome Junction was renamed Chino Valley in 1923. If any of you have ever done any kind of geocaching, we thought it'd be fun to stop off and pick up this one. This one's called the Ghost Train Depot. It sits right outside the road. Wasn't too much further up the trail. Came to the next junction that we needed to find. This was Forest Route 9701V, and this one would take us on into Martin Canyon. Pretty easy to find based on the power lines that you see here. First bit of it was pretty easy going, but as we'd soon learn, that was deceiving. Time to put her in 4 low. The entrance to Martin Canyon is not too bad, fairly narrow, but the trail seems pretty passable and a little bit rocky here and there, starting to narrow up, but still pretty easy. But it was getting along towards lunchtime, so we started to look for a place to pull off the trail for a little bit. It was along about this time that we met another Jeep going the other way, and his response was it was too tough for him. He needed to turn around, so kind of started to make us worry about what this was going to be like. Well, as soon as we got going again, it didn't take long for Martin Canyon to really start to show us what it was about. Trail got even narrower, more rocky, up and down. I bet we crossed that creek about 100 times before the day was out, and every crossing was pretty slow,
climbing out the other side, dropping back in again. But it was a lot of fun. Well, it was along about this part of the trail, we started coming up on the signature rock right there to the left, the old Smiley Rock. Not really sure how it came to be, but certainly know how it got its name. So we all had to stop for a picture, hang out for a little bit, just enjoy the shade. Of course, Dave had to show off. Yeah, our XJs just can't do that. I'd like to say that the trail got easier after we passed Smiley Rock, but no, it didn't. In fact, we were still coming up on the hard spot. Yeah, I think we're going to want to check this out.
All right, so we are well within Martin Canyon on the Smiley Rock Trail. You can see behind me there, we've kind of reached what we call the rock garden, I guess. So I'm just kind of walking ahead here just to scout this out a bit. It's pretty rocky. I've heard this is the toughest spot, so I want to just kind of see how this looks. We had met up with a Jeep earlier that had gotten to this point and then they turned around, so want to make sure we can do it. So, but this trail is awesome. The views and just going through the trees, and it's nice and technical, and a lot of shade, just really pretty. So that is after you get down in the canyon. So before that, it's nice just the views of the canyons and the distant mountains. So yeah, been a great trail. So we just got to get through this part. So this is what we're looking at ahead of us. You can see. So trying to make sure we got a path through here. So I think we can do it.
When I get up there, it's that other one. Watch my drive line. I don't want to come down and get my drive line stuck on that other one. Okay? How's my back? Pretty much see that one. Right on it. Working our way out of the rock garden here. Pretty wicked. They kind of help spot each other through. Your left, your right? Yeah. Done with the rocks for a minute. That suspension flex underneath that thing. Look at old Sasha go. Yeah. Stay hard left at the top of the hill, right where Dave's at. There's some rocks that hide in the shadows there. I'll walk up. It's amazing what you can do with open differentials. Disconnect that sway bar. Let it run.
After being pretty convinced that we were going to never get out of this canyon, the trail finally started to head towards the right, make a gentle climb out of the bottom of the canyon, and wasn't too long before we were able to pull off the trail and just enjoy the view down into Prescott Valley.
Okay, we just did Smiley Rock. So, man, what a trail. This is a very serious off-road trail. I'm not kidding. This had everything starting out from Jerome. The whole loop is about 20 miles, give or take. And probably about 15 of that is just kind of road. A little bit of challenges, but nothing major. And then you get into Martin Canyon, and that is some serious stuff. So that one, you get into the washes, you've got some rock crawling, some boulder fields and stuff down, go through the wash. It's a serious trail, but man, it is fun. So highly recommend it. We did it with the Cherokees, no serious modifications on those. It was great to do it with the original members of Jim's Jeep Club. So that was awesome, great day. This trail is running about probably 7,000 to 8,000 feet, somewhere in there. Just outside of Jerome, close to 7 probably. And since it's middle of June, kind of hot in the valley, so great wheeling up here in the pines. So awesome day, and we're gonna head down, airing up now, and gonna head down the valley. Thanks for joining us.